Hello, everybody. Yay! Welcome to Sacred Space Coloring Corner. I'm so excited to work on this toucan. He's so cute. I was playing, and he ended up being a little bit zen-tangly. So I've been super excited. I wanted to start playing coloring him when I made him a couple days ago, and I was like, nope, nope, nope. We will save it for the group. We will save it for our Let's Color um, little community that we're creating here. So I'm really excited to be here this morning. And I love the message. And I do want to note right now that if you can dream it, you can do it was said by someone else. It was said by one of the people in the video. It used to be a movie. It was called The Secret, and I think came out maybe in the early 2000s, maybe even late 1990s. I know my kids were young, and we would put it on the video, we put it on the TV, and it would just be playing over and over and over. And they just loved it. They loved the whole concept, they loved that energy that was happening. So it was really cool. So I do want to note that, but I couldn't remember who it was, so I couldn't give credit. So I want to start out by doing that and give credit where credit's due because it's such a wonderful saying. If you think about it, if you can dream it, if you can think of something that is wonderful and magnificent, you can do it. Another way of putting it is if God put it on your heart, God will help you to achieve it. Um, you're capable of so much. And that's why I wanted this saying here on our toucan today, because this guy is going to be so much fun. And I am using today because I want him to be super colorful. Let's do our oh hoo hoo, woohoo, our super duper fun markers. I love these markers. I've been having so much fun with them because there's so many colors, and this isn't even the biggest set that you can get. You can buy. I think this is the 72 marker set, and Ohuhu also has I believe it's a 120 marker set. So that's my next goal is to get those. When these start getting low, we'll start doing that. And I did buy mine on Amazon. If anybody wants to know, I'm sure there's other way, but I want to do Ohuhu a favor too, is a good solid goodness by telling you guys where I got them. And I will try to remember to link where they are in Amazon, Amazon.com. You know, you can get anything on there these days. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're all doing good. The we're in a crazy year this year. 2024 is starting out to be a little bit wild, but that's okay. We're built for longevity. You know, we're patient people. So let's start out. Let's all just take a nice deep breath. Let's get into our coloring zone. Let's just get into that wonderful space where we leave the world behind. We can even leave 2024 behind. We're in our own time zone. We're in our own place, our own space. Wherever you are is your sacred space. And that's why I called this Sacred Space Coloring Corner. We're each in our own sacred space coloring corner, and we're all here together too. So we know that coloring is such a relaxing, wonderful experience. And so let's go ahead and just think about what color do you want to start with? And I'm feeling yellow. I'm feeling I want to get some yellow on this bird. And this is, can't even pronounce it. Canuria? Canuria. I wanted it to be canary, and it was like, no, that's not canary. So let's just start. Let's just start putting some color on. You know what? Another thing too, I want to bring your attention, and some of you may have noticed it already, but as we put colors on here, when they dry, the colors change a little bit. Sometimes they get a little bit brighter, sometimes they get a little bit more intense. So kind of pay attention when you're using colors, what happens to them after they dry. This is a really normal thing for that to happen, right? And it just gives you an idea. Woo. I'm going to tell you guys that have been with me for a while, you know how I love to use the really bright ones, the fluorescents and stuff. And I had to pull myself back from starting straight out of the gate with fluorescents with these ones because I just wanted to be like, yes, we're doing fluorescents. And also remember, you guys can print out a second one of these because I put them in the Patreon for those that don't know. Our Patreon site is Sacred Space Coloring Corner, where you can get these free coloring pages. And also, to do that, I do have a paid tier, where you can get all the old videos and stuff that we've done. But I usually leave up 3 or 4 weeks of coloring pages and also um, the videos so that you can kind of go back if you find yourself really interested. But these are all free and you can join free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. And I set it up that way because I think that everybody needs to have access to these kind of things. I think we all need this. I really do. I think we all need this relaxation, this place to check into, to come into, and to start kind of reconnecting with ourselves in a deeper way and really be able to relax into that. So that's why I have it as free. I want it to be, it's kind of my service, if you will, my service to humanity. And I really enjoy it. And it's fun because I get to meet very interesting people that maybe wouldn't have gotten involved with coloring if it was just something, that, oh, another thing you have to pay for. But they start doing it and they find it to be such a joy and something that they really are getting a lot out of. And so that's the other reason is to open it up to everybody. Everything is so expensive these days. And so it's nice to have something to do that doesn't cost, that doesn't cost a bunch of money. So I want to open that up to everybody too. So what are you guys doing? Where are you starting with your colors? I'm trying to be thoughtful of what I'm doing, but let's put this. My gosh, it's so weird. It's Canaria yellow. Canaria yellow. I wanted it to be canary yellow so bad. So let's see, what do we got here? Ice blue. Let's put some blue on this beauty. Let's bring this a little bit of a turquoise blue. And I don't know if toucans are really bright birds, but this guy's going to be. My little guy needs to be a beautiful, bright, happy birdie. He wants to be happy. He wants to be bright. He wants to be able to sing his song. He wants to express his gloriousness. I'm not sure what I want the tummy to be. I'm feeling like I want this big part here to be green. So I can already tell that I'm thinking along the line of parrot coloring for this little guy. But that's okay. That's okay. This is our toucan. We can do whatever we want. So I hope everybody's doing good today. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're you're finding some joy in your day today. Wow, this is so fun. And I always try to think what I don't know what colors toucans are. I was so excited to do this page with you guys. I never even thought through. It's like, what color are toucans? I always think of the what is it? The cereal with the toucan on it. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Don't get upset with me. I'm gonna bring in the fluorescent pink. I want some bright pink in here. I need some bright pink to guide me on my way. Just a little bit. I'm not gonna overdo it. Let's get a little bit of that bright pink. What was that cereal? What was that cereal that had the toucan on it? Remember that from when I was little. And is that cereal still around? I don't know if that cereal is still around or not. Toucan Sam, was that his name? He was so cool. I don't know what it was about him. Such great marketing that was. Really, really good marketing. Did a little bit of this pink down here. I just can't help myself with the pink, you guys. I just can't help myself. I'm doing it, and that's what this is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be the joy of coloring. The joy of coloring. Bring a little bit up in here. Not too much. Because that's the thing, too. That's something to keep in mind when you're coloring, is do just a little bit. And I learned this from painting. It's like do just a little bit. Go to kind of where you're drawn. Like what area are you drawn to? And do just a little bit there, right? Just a little bit there. And I also want to, I want to invite all of you also to chat. If you're watching this, you can chat from YouTube. And I invite you to chat, to make comments. You can do them live while we're on here, or make little comments later. I'd like to hear back from you because we're just starting. This is something that I've just started, and I really love to get some feedback to see how you guys are liking how this is going. If you're liking the color pages, that way it helps me to know what's bringing joy to you. You know, that's my goal, is to bring you joy, peace, a place where we can just relax, kind of have fun, chit chat, be silly, and to just enjoy our day. Ooh, you know what? I'm being drawn to the beak, but I don't know. I don't know what color toucan beaks are. But I guess we could do it any darn color we want, huh? Feeling like I want to bring some purple into. And in our other things, we've talked about doing swatching. And I've not swatched my markers here. I've not brought that. I don't know if this is going to be dark. It is a little bit dark. I don't know that I'm ready for some darkness yet. I think I'm going to leave that there. I'm kind of wanting the brighter colors. I'm going to put that one over there. And take a sip of tea. Who's got tea? I'm really getting into, I used to be really into the medicinal qualities of tea, and I kind of got away from that. And I'm really getting back into it. I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying tea. And herbs and stuff are so good. That used to be how we did medicine. is with herbs and stuff, and so they do have medicinal qualities in them. And so what I'm drinking is I'm drinking a little green tea, and I put some moringa leaf in there, and I also have some dandelion, a little peppermint. I love peppermint. And what else? A little licorice. And it's not licorice like the candy licorice, although that would be delicious too. But it's actually the licorice root from the licorice plant, and it's very good. It's very warming to the body. It's very healing to the body. And as always, anytime you try anything new, disclaimer, disclaimer, always check with your medical professionals. I am not nor claim to be a doctor, but we also all have brains and we're allowed to use them. And, it's something that can help make your day nicer. The British people, they stop their day every day and have a cup of tea around 4 p.m., just as a time to kind of relax, regroup, have a little snack, and find a nice little place, of reconnection to self. Tea is a big ritual in England. And it was really cool when I was over there. It's been quite a while ago. Um, I did a couple of high teas with some people that I was visiting in London. And it was so neat. It's such a to do. Get little cookies, what they call biscuits, and cakes. It was really, really fun. And I appreciated it. It was nice to have that time in your day. And even people, that are working, that are on work schedules and stuff. It's different people do different times, but traditionally it's 4 p.m. And you just stop and brew a cup of tea and just take a break from the world. I think that's so beautiful. It's something we all should do, right? We all need a break from the world. It gets a little cuckoo. Look at how we're coming along. Look at all of that. He's so pretty. He's such a pretty bird. Pretty bird. Pretty bird. Let's get a nice bright orange. This one is called Orange. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if we need a little orange in his. Oh, yeah. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Let's see how I'm coloring in this heavier place here to see kind of what it looks like when it dries. Because remember with the markers, pencils, you don't really have that. What you got is what you got. But with the markers, when they dry, they take on a different quality. And I'm noticing these ohuhus, many of them, when they dry, they're brighter, which makes sense because they're not as wet, right? It's kind of like when you paint a wall or paint anything for that matter. Look at that. Kind of like that orange in there. I'm going to bring a little bit of orange down here for some brightness on his tummy. I'm also going to get some green in here. I'm feeling the parrot kind of a thing, you know. And also I'm varying. Like up here is kind of more purple and pink, and down here I got kind of more orange in the purple. Bring some other colors in there as well. Feeling a little bit like I want this orange to come down into here, just like a nice bright orange. Nice bright orange part. And you know what? In here too, this orange is really bright and sunny. I like that. I'm going to bring a little bit more of that in. And if I'm not mistaken, these little toucan cutie pies do have a bit of orange in them. If I remember Toucan Sam correctly. I don't even know if that's the name. And remember to take a nice deep breath. We're here to relax. Ooh, this is almost like our British high tea, right? I think I'm going to bring a little bit more orange into here. I really like this. Okay, I'm going for the beaky part. I'm going to do this lower beak, this orange. In fact, I'm going to. Fun thing about the Ohuhus, you got the pointy tip. You got the little bit broader tip that you can fill in. And notice again, as we bring this in here, it's a little bit darker. It's a little bit darker. I do want to bring a little bit more blue. I'm going to bring some more blue. I think I'm going to do some more blue down in here. Some blue into here. Ooh, is anybody noticing you're just really starting to get into a nice relaxed state? Your brain's kind of slowing down. Everything's kind of starting to slow down. Doesn't that feel good? Such a beautiful state of being. And you know, it's natural for us to be relaxed. A relaxed state is how we're kind of designed to be, and we've lost a little bit of that. We've lost a little bit of that relaxed state. You know, we used to be out in nature where we could stop, stop in our day and sit under a tree or just gaze off on a beautiful vista, whether it's trees or a meadow and we don't have that connection so much. And that's okay. But we need to pay attention when we need that more, you know. We need to pay attention to when we're really feeling like we need to connect with nature. Okay, I'm going in for the upper beak. I'm feeling the yellow. And if you guys will notice on this, in the beak, we've got a little bit of lines going. Whoops. I'm going to color in the middle here. We got some cool outline for this little beak that we can go in. We can do a little bit of bring in another color. I think I'm going to bring in this blue. So again, this is I believe it's ice blue. It's ice blue. And check this out. I'm going to put this ice blue here. So it's almost like just a little bit there. Oops. My hand's not as steady today. There we go. Yeah, see that? I like that. You guys see how that? Let me get it a little bit closer. I made a little bit of a mess. I didn't do it as neat as I could. I'll go in and clean that up in a sec. And what I'll do to clean it up is I'll just bring it in. It's not quite as neat, but at least it makes it look a little bit more like it was supposed to be that way. It was supposed to be like that, right? And I'm going to bring this blue in here. I think I was going to do green, but I'm looking at all this foliage around this little beauty. And I think if we have green on his body, it might take away from him. I want him to stand out because he's so handsome. He's so handsome. And I'm not sure what color I want there, but I do want blue. I do want this blue here. I'm just going to pull that all of these feathers right here. Because remember, we're doing feathers too. And so these feathers, it's fun when they can be all different colors. And this little back here, I almost want to bring in another color there. You know I'm craving the fluorescence, guys. How about if we do some brighter orange? Will that even make a little bit of a difference? Bringing in the fluorescence. It's that time. I can only hold back for so long. How do you guys feel about the fluorescence? What do you guys think about that? And if you're watching this video later and not doing it live, you guys can still make your comments down below and I'll come back and check on them. Because I really do want to hear from you. I want to be in touch with you guys. I really want to give you what you feel like you need. So I'm doing a little bit of the bright colors down in here. And then I'm going to bring some of this bright. Here we go. It's fluorescent time. A little bit of this bright fluorescent yellow down in here into some of these little parts that I've missed. Just little dots of it. I want to make his feet yellow too. I don't know what color toucan feet are. But my toucan's going to be yellow. What color is your toucan's? What color are your little guy's feet? Orange would be a really fun color too, huh? Look, we've got his body done. Isn't he sweet? But what color do we do? I know what color. I know what color. His little face here is going to be. Oh, yep. He's going to be bright, fluorescent pink. Look at that. Oh. And this is kind of an interesting color palette here because we've got all the kind of hot, warm, yummy colors there for him. I don't know why I call it a him. He seems like he's a him for me. And it probably doesn't matter. But he just seems regal and powerful and masculine. Maybe not even a him or her, but just a masculine energy. Especially with that pink. Especially with that pink. So let's get some nice green on here. Let's start doing some of these palm leaves. This is mint green. And I'm going to start with some of these right here. Some of these, I'm going to start with the pointies, the ones that have the pointies. So we have palm frond ones. Oops, I got too many markers out. We got like palm fronds here. And then we have little pointy leaf ones here. And so what we want to do is we just want to be thoughtful. These are different plants. So this is one way that we can use the different colors on them, right? Because we don't want them to be all one same green. Because when you look in nature, nature isn't all one green. Nature has a bazillion greens. And I love that. I think I was talking, um, I don't know, maybe even last week about the first time I went to England. And I, my brain and my eyes were literally in shock and amazement of the brightness and the many different colors of green in that country. Especially driving through the countryside. I was taking the train from London up into Manchester, and oh my gosh, it's like how many different greens can they possibly be? Each one more vivid and bright and yummy than the next. Oh, it was amazing. Okay, I'm turning this and I'm going to come over here. This one's a little bit squirrely. So I'm just going to pull that one in. And there we go. So many different greens. That's one of the things too that's really cool about traveling to other areas. I live in the United States, and it's such a huge state that, or a huge country, that it's almost like each state is its own little country. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see how each place is so different, and every place has its own culture and its own little things. It's so fun. I'd love to know where you guys are from, where people are watching from. I work with clients. I work as an intuitive, but I'm also a therapist. I do metaphysical therapy, which works, it's the mind, body, soul approach. And I work with people with, I do hypnotherapy. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, past life regressionist. Um, I do I do art therapy, obviously. And really it's about just getting back in touch with ourselves is so much of what's missing with people. What we're in unnatural kind of environs so often. And it's easy to get out of touch with what is natural and I almost want to say normal. I don't know if that's really fair, because what is normal, but just a more natural, organic kind of environment. Like hug a tree. Go breathe some the air of the ocean or the air of the forest or even the air of the desert. They're all different and they're all magical and beautiful. But you got to get out there to do it. You can't feel the air of Hawaii. You have to have felt it. You can't feel the air of Hawaii by looking at a picture, you know. There's something, I just when I was young we used to go to Hawaii a lot. And it was stepping off, this is before you'd stepped off the plane into a building, and you would step off that plane onto the tarmac, and that moist air and that scent of just beauty on that island. It's not even a scent that you can describe. Even on the tarmac, you got all the planes and all that stuff, you could still smell Hawaii and you could still feel that just beautiful air. It was moist and heavy, but not heavy and overbearing like humidity can be. It's just wonderful. You don't get that from a picture or a video. Sometimes we got to pack up our bags and go there. How are you guys doing? I'm feeling very stripy. Feeling like we got a lot of stripes going on here. And I feel like we got this is one kind of plant, this is kind of one kind of plant, this is kind of a palmy, and these are kind of hangy downy plants here. So we got a couple different ones that we can use different greens with. This is mint green light. This should be a good complement color. I'm going to bring that up here. Let me see. Is this going to work? It's going to work for our palm fronds. That is not that much lighter. Let's see what happens when it brightens up, when it dries. While it's drying, let's all take a sip of tea. Yeah, no, this isn't a big enough difference. Yeah, no. Looking at all the greens here, and they seem a little bit. You got vivid green. Can we do some vivid green? Ooh, that's good. Oops. Oopsie, dropped the lid. This is kind of more the green that I wanted to bring in. Kind of more of a real green, right? I'm going to go over this one. That's going to be a little bit darker. That's okay though. And I'm actually going to bring all this green all the way up into all these palm fronds. But remember too, we go back and highlight too. Ooh, this is a yummy green. Look at that. Don't forget to breathe, everybody. Take a breath. And also just take a minute and check in with yourself. Like, how you feeling right now? Sometimes when we're coloring and we allow ourselves to relax, we allow our mind to relax, sometimes emotions or thoughts will come up. And, if they're kind of negative or something like that, a lot of times our inclination is to push it down. Oh no. But you know what? Sometimes it's good to take a look at it, What is your innermost self trying to say to you? What needs to come to your attention? I have a program that's called Neuro Bliss, and it's all about getting in touch with what's going on inside of us. It's another part of living in a a world where we really need to go, 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 and accomplish and get the things done. And we're all hopping in the car to go here, there. We all work, and sometimes we forget to just stop for a second and just listen to ourselves. So many of us, we have things that we haven't really dealt with, emotions and feelings, and issues, that we haven't really dealt with. And we need to do that. We need to listen. And a lot of times when we've got distance from maybe a traumatic situation, what comes to mind is a divorce. 72% of the population has been through a divorce. That's a lot. And divorce is really traumatic. And if you haven't done some work, and dare I say, with, a professional, a lot of times that stuff goes undealt with. We don't deal with stuff. And a lot of times we can get through life, not dealing with stuff. Sometimes it's not so bad. I can handle this. And that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean everybody needs to. But at the same time, sometimes we do need to. Sometimes we do need to look a little bit deeper into our feelings, into our emotions, because if we stuff them down, sometimes they come up in other ways. Sometimes they come up as anger or addictions. You know, sometimes they kind of come up as illness, even. Especially if your traumas have been really intense. Some of us have had some really intense traumas, and divorce is amongst them. Divorce is really traumatic. And a lot of times you're like, no, 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 I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm good. Yeah, I'm getting through it. I'm good. And a lot of times we're thinking, if I just get through this day, I'll be fine. If I just get through this minute, I'll be fine. And there's nothing wrong with that approach, but at some point we really need to move in and look at and really feel the emotions. And one of the ways we can do that in a safe environment is doing what we're doing right here. Just getting down and just coloring, you know? Just hang out, color, be in a safe place. You're in the safety of your own home. Ooh, everybody take a nice deep breath. And so I'm going to invite you, since we just had that little part of our chat, I'm going to invite each of you for the rest of your drawing, for the rest of this time here. Think about some of your dreams. And I don't mean your dreams at night. I mean the things that you always wanted to do. Think about something that you always wanted to do that maybe you never found the time, maybe the time just wasn't there. Maybe something that you've been putting off. Like, well, when the kids grow up, we'll do this, which is a viable reason, by the way. Or maybe, when I have $1 million in the bank, then I'll go. Or maybe those times when we just say, well, I need to work now, but when I retire, I'll go to Italy or France or these beautiful places I always wanted to go to. And think about that. Or maybe something you wanted to do. Maybe you always want to take a painting class. Maybe you always wanted to learn to color. Maybe you always wanted to learn to draw or play the clarinet or play the piano or dance or sing or what are the things? What are the things that you've put off that maybe it's time to revisit? Maybe it's time to think about maybe somehow making that happen. Because it really is true. If you can dream it, if you can desire it, if it comes into your head, you can do it. And there's a lot of people who've had very adverse, situations who've accomplished great things. And a lot of times we just need to be reminded that we can. That if we can dream of it, if we can think of it, if we can move into that space where we can accept that, yeah, that it is possible for me to do that. There is a possibility for me of opening up my own business and make designer pet collars for cats. Or there is a way that I could become a gaming designer. And when you open up your mind, when you give yourself permission to just say, well, you know what? If I can dream of it, there's got to be a way that I can actually do it. Because that dream, that thought, that hope, that desire came from somewhere. You know, it came from somewhere. Where do ideas come from? Do they just come out of the blue, like from nowhere into somewhere? Or do they all exist somewhere? Maybe some people say in the Akashic records. Maybe these are in the mind of God. And as God beings, what's in the mind of God is in our hearts as well. That's kind of cool to think of. Not everybody believes in God in the same way. Maybe it comes from your own magnificent awesomeness. But wherever it comes from, if it's there, maybe it's worth maybe it's worth considering. I always wanted to paint and color and do this kind of stuff. And I worked for a very long time as an accountant. And it's like my whole world was in accountant land. And, I didn't have a lot of time for creativity. But I always wanted to color. I always wanted to be crafty and artistic and musical. And so one day I took a Reiki class. And all of a sudden I just kind of went, you know what? There's more to this world than accounting. I can do other things besides accounting. And so I actually walked in to my work one day and saw the pile of work that was sitting there. And I just said, I can't do this anymore. I have to have more meaning in my life. And so I quit and scared the crap out of myself. But somehow it worked out. It was so weird. It was like on paper, there's no way I could have paid my bills, and yet I always did. And a few times I had people step in and help me. People that believed in me. My mom, it's like, oh, mom, I'm kind of short for rent. She'd be like, oh, you need to get a real job. I know, mom, but I'm doing my sole purpose. I'm healing and I'm working with people in healing. And, I helped this lady today, who's really having problems. And we hope to heal her from pain and suffering. And, this is meaningful. My mom got it, even though I think it scared her. But, you can dream it. You dream it, you can do it. And just doing that Reiki class and taking that step, and then I started studying hypnotherapy and metaphysical therapies. And I decided to get like, working on my doctorate, still working on that, but to get some degrees in ways to really, really help people and to explore my intuition that was very powerful and something that's always been a part of what I do. So I developed my psychic abilities and I do readings for people. I do hypnotherapy and past life regression and life coaching and it's all from just understanding that one little thing that, if it's on my heart, if it's in my awareness, there must be something to it. There must be something to it because it can't be meaningless. It can't be meaningless if it's in your heart. Now, am I suggesting that you go quit your job right now? No, please don't do that because it was really scary and I had kids too. Looking back, I'm like, what was I thinking? And the world was a little bit different back in the 90s. It wasn't quite so rough. Look at how fun. How are you guys doing? If you can dream it, you can do it. What colors are you putting on here? I'm feeling almost like there's somebody who used a lot of very interesting colors and they're kind of getting a kick out of having used some really different colors for the leaves and stuff. Leaves. The leaf sisses. Ooh, and look at this one up here. Is this part of the bird? No, that's gotta be a leaf back there. I'm gonna bring that in as a leaf. So now we're kind of starting to isolate the flowers, right? Kind of getting a little. I'm liking this color, this pale green for a lot of this. It's really nice. There we go. That's it. I got kind of a lot of white. Got a little bit of cleanup I need to do. And then we have this big palm frond here. Kind of like, what color do we need? I want that to be, honestly, with this yellow down here, I kind of want it to be yellow. Can I do that? If you can dream it, you can do it. Other times on plants, yellow means kind of not feeling well. Maybe needs more water, more nitrogen. But this plant is naturally yellow. This plant naturally has this yellow on it. He's an anomaly. I'm wondering, what is this? Mint green light. Did we try that one before? Oh, put that right there. I think we did try that before and it kind of blended in. Isn't that cool though? Look at, we're getting there. We're getting there. You guys are doing so good. We're at 57 minutes. So we'll probably be about 10 more minutes. I think that mint green light is too dark. I want something bright, lighter. Light, 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 light. Turquoise green. Ooh. Turquoise green. Wow, this is a really dark color. Kind of feeling it though. What do you guys think? It's like this is a little bit different kind of a plant back here. It's got the yellow and then the dark. What do you think? Ooh, I like that. I kind of want to call this like a tiger plant. And I'm going to put a little bit more yellow in because this is very, very dark. Do a little bit more yellow. I'm going to do this. Also, another thing too, and I believe I have it in the description. If not, I'll check it and make sure. You know, when you get done with your coloring pages, always sign it. And then you can come over to our Facebook group and share your page. We love doing that. We've got people whose kids color the pages. Maybe they're not on here on the video watching, but they color the pages. I'm trying to get my granddaughter to finish her dragon. Look at that. That's kind of cool. And you guys, I know what color all these flowers are going to be. Yep. They're got to be bright pink. Got to be bright pink. I got to do it. I can't hold back. Kind of making a mess of this little guy here. And they don't all have to be bright pink. Some can be yellow. I'm calling them hibiscuses, but you know, these almost have a little bit of a daisy-like feel to them. And I'm going to do this one down here because I think they're going to be, some are going to be yellow with pink on them too, right? But we're looking kind of at composition, at balance. Mr. Toucan, you have been a delight to color. Thank you for coming into our life, Mr. Toucan. I'm going to do this one right here, pink. And you know, because this one is a little bit more, I don't want to say cartoony, but not as lifelike as some of the other things that we do. You'll notice that it doesn't have so much of the grayscale. It doesn't have so much of the, look at all these different colors that we've used in here. Isn't that amazing? That always just makes me excited. So I'm going to do one of these flowers. I'm going to have it over here. I'm going to have this one here be yellow. And I'm going to make the centers of these yellow too. Boop. So I'm going to start getting some variation in the colors here. Because remember, we can do the highlighting thing. Another thing with markers too, to remember, my friends, let them dry a little bit before you go over and do any highlighty stuff with them. Highlighty. Let them dry a little bit. And look what we're going to do here. Because this is how nature is. We're going to put orange one right here. Because there's all kinds of yellow going on over here. So let's bring that orange in, and we're going to put some orange right here too. So we're going to bring that orange into this area. So it's like, oh yeah, of course there's orange. We're going to do some orange highlights there. Maybe even around the edges. Right? I think this one was probably. But check that out. Ooh, maybe we're going to do a little orange on these pink flowers. I know I've got them upside down. Sorry. Do a little orange on the pink ones. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Instead of doing yellow, I was going to do yellow. Let's do the orange on there. Brings that variant. Right? It brings that the kind of depth to it all. Makes it more interesting. Boop, boop, boop. Ooh. Oops. Let's do this. So let's get our hot pink, put it on our yellow flowers. And this is how we kind of bring all the coloring together too, right? Or it's like, well, wait a minute, what's happening over here? Well, it's hot pink, of course. Get that hot pink in this orange one here. Get some orange in the center. Actually, would orange be cool in there? A little bit. And then what about this tree trunk here? Also, you'll kind of start noticing. I've noticed a couple of leaves that I kind of forgot here. Kind of fill in anything it looks like maybe you missed. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Look at what you guys have done. It's beautiful. And so this is like a palm tree, right? It's kind of like a palm tree. Do we want it to be brown? Do we want it to be kind of a light sand sort of a color? I'm going to do this. I'm bringing, this is called yellow ochre. And I'm making this little palm tree here. I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. So we're bringing another boldness, right? Some bold color, something totally different, totally off what we've been doing. That's what keeps things interesting, right? And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, you guys have done such a beautiful job. I want to tell you, I just had a thought. Somebody's like, what are you talking about? Your inspiration and your presence, your beautiful essence, if you will, is what makes all of this begin to create. You guys showed up here, whether you're live or otherwise, you're watching, you're paying attention. And that's how we share our energy with things, right? Look, you guys helped do that. Isn't that beautiful? And don't forget to sign your creations. Because you're going to look back on these. And I go 3, 2002, 4. You're going to look back on these in a few years. And maybe you're going to share them with your children, your grandchildren, your friends. And this is going to be something that's going to remind you of where you were at that time, what you were thinking of, what was sacred and holy to you. Look at that. Look what beauty you created. Look what beauty you created. Very fun. Very funny. There's another little thing right here that's just kind of strange. I'm going to color that in like it's a little flower bud, just just waiting to bloom. Put some color over there. Beautifully done, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to invite all of you, just take a nice deep breath. Just breathe in. Breathe out. And just put your hands over your heart. And just bring your awareness to yourself and just say, I love you. Just tell your body, I love you. Thank you for being here. Just be in that space for a minute. It's always good to take the time to love yourself because you're so precious and so wonderful. And there's nobody like you. You're the only you that is. And that's magical. And that's wonderful. And it's important. And you are sacred. So thank you for being here at Sacred Space Coloring Corner. Come play on Patreon, like this on YouTube. And that helps YouTube know that people are enjoying it. Share your page over on our Facebook group. All the links are down below. And I love you guys. I'm so grateful to get to share this time with you. And we'll see you next week. Not sure what page we're going to do, but I do know it's going to be fun. So until then, everybody, keep coloring and stay sparkly.